Hello again, fans. This is Shane Shadows, and welcome to Classic Indies. Well, some of the great independent wrestling matches from all over the world over the last 30 years. Now, this one here, we're going to bring you a very special one here this week as two of the colossal giants in World Wrestling Entertainment history lock horns at the Potomac State College in Kaiser, West Virginia, as King Kong Bundy takes on King Mable. I have to pause momentarily here, fans, to send a message across.
We're getting a good shot of the goalpost.
Yeah, good shot of the goalpost. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Royce Prophet, the manager. Look at the gargantuan size of not only the manager, Royce Prophet, but of King Kong Bundy, a former headline star, a WrestleMania main eventer, one of the greats. Both of these two men have passed by. And here comes King Mable, who was also known as Viscera, and Big Daddy V, a very formidable opponent in his own right, in excess of 500 pounds. This was the main event of a great night of action, February 1st, 1997, at the Potomac State College in Kaiser, West Virginia. A noteworthy, there were two big cage matches on this card as well. I was part of one, and we may bring you that episode or match in a future episode. This also doubles as the last card that I appeared or booked for the NWL or Dick Kirchhoff for 12 years. There was a lot of great matches underneath of this, a very strong supporting card, a very good turnout. Obviously, the main event draws the money, or at least it should. That was a match that Dick had put together. And obviously, they've turned out strong here. Potomac State was a great venue and a very successful venue for a long time for the NWL. Championship Pro Wrestling ran there as well. On a smaller scale, we organized some events that were entertainment for the college kids in this very same gym. And those are floating around. Some of those matches are floating around on the internet as well. Once again, I want to thank you for your patronage here, enjoying the subscription that you can get, or just watching the matches here on the Independent Rewind. Not only Shane Shadows presents Classic Indies, but the Independent Rewind program itself with my friends Frosty Rob Wells and Steven Sarks, and some of the other matches and events that we bring you as well. We brought you a great CPW event from a Memorial Weekend, and we're probably going to be bringing you here very soon Labor Day weekend event from Riverbend Park as well. Lots of great things to see here if you like independent wrestling and a walk through the past, and just, sometimes a tongue-in-cheek look at things. The last couple weeks, Rob and I spent more time laughing and crying than than calling wrestling matches so much, having a good time. But look at these two beasts getting ready to hook them up in downtown Kaiser, West Virginia, a town I've wrestled in so many times. Over the old fire hall and here at the college. We used to wrestle at a bar called DJ's Outback. I've wrestled a lot of matches in that area. And the combined 1,000 pounds in the ring has locked up, and Mable gets the early advantage on Bundy. Mable seemed like a nice enough of a guy, for sure, but I didn't spend the amount of time with him. Of course, I knew Bundy. I booked Bundy a lot myself. I spent a lot of time working different spots with Bundy. What a great guy he was. You miss guys like that because guys like, I mean, he was a curmudgeon-y type, big and grouchy, but a lot of that I think was done for show, for entertainment. Behind the scenes, King Kong Bundy was King Kong Bundy in front of the camera, in front of the crowd, and behind the scenes as well. He was loud, he was boisterous, but he was a good guy. I liked him a lot. He's taking Mable off his feet here. I believe it was with a tackle. There's this battle of behemoths. They reinforced the ring, as Gorilla Monsoon used to say. They reinforced the ring for this one here. Tightened everything up. Made sure that everything was attached well, because when these guys hit the ropes, when guys of this size bounce around, things can come undone, and injuries can happen very easily that way as well. Ringside, of course, one of your legendary independent professional wrestling managers and characters, my dear friend Royce Prophet. Hope you're out here watching, brother, and hope all was well. Oh, Bundy taking off his feet here. And a big elbow smash. Good God Almighty. Bundy on another. Mabel's up quick. That's pretty, for a guy that size, that's pretty agile to come up off his feet like that quickly. Bam! But I mean, you look at him, Bundy is massive, and Mable he makes Bundy look small. I've only ever watched this match once, maybe twice before. I saw it there when I was live. Of course, your perspective when you're there watching matches live and then you watch them later on tape. Oh, my Lord, yeah. The whole ring shifts. Man, that's no exaggeration. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that Monsoon used to say on television all the time, but it's the truth. But when you see guys like this and you compare it to today's day and age, where there's guys that are barely 140 pounds in here bouncing around, it completely takes on it has a different connotation altogether. And that's not to knock the current stuff. I'm just saying it's visually different, so I think it's treated differently. And you know what? People don't talk about wrestling like they used to. People used to be able to get into groups of people who would just sit and talk about all kinds of wrestling. You don't really hear that now. I mean, you're kind of down. It feels like to me like your hardcore base, and no one just talks about like, hey, I watched Raw this week, or I watched TV this week, or they're building this match up and stuff. Greco-Roman knuckle lock here. Mable taking the advantage. Bundy to a knee. Somewhere in this crowd attending this matchup, or some of the most noteworthy future independent wrestling stars of the area, notably Jake and George Davis and Brian Leatherman, and I believe Drew Hankinson, who of course many of you may know as Luke Gallows, the big LG. He's from the area. He used to come to these matches as well. I think he's probably 13, 14 years old at this point in time. Mable misses in the corner and sends the ring the whole way to the other side. Oh, big clothesline from Bundy. And Mable is down. Possibly, a 450-pound knee drop right to the head. Handsome Howard down. Mable out the back door. Two years prior to this matchup, Mable wins the King of the Ring in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, in the World Wrestling Federation, now known as the WWE. But back then, there was not guys signed to long-term contracts and so on and so forth. You were kind of in, and you could, if they ran out of things to do with you, or you fell out of favor, or maybe if you got injured or something, you would go back out to the independents and do different things. I mean, nobody was working on guarantees back then. With these, obviously, at the point where we're recording this, yesterday WWE superstar Bray Wyatt was released from his contract, and to my way of thinking, and we're several weeks past that now, it's largely because they probably signed into a very big contract but didn't know what else to do with him creatively for a while. Back then, you didn't have those type of things. A guy would come in, and they would use him as they used him, and he would work his way up the card as far as he was going to go, and he'd work his way down the card, and then he was probably gone. and then he would quite possibly come back later. He would just go someplace else, work the independents. The territories were all but dead here by this time, though, folks, in 1997. But the independence was a very burgeoning market. There was still different places to go and do things, and where guys could make a living. And it wasn't because they were guaranteed contracts. There were no guaranteed contracts. I don't think that even at this point, the biggest star in wrestling is probably Bret Hart. Bret Hart probably had a contract, but only the top 2 or 3 guys in any company had a guaranteed contract. Everybody else was working on the only money they're going to make for sure is $150 at TV. And the opportunity to make. So it was a different world. Bundy going for the big elbow and Mable out of the way. Mable, I'm impressed with the agility. I am definitely impressed. Well, Bundy's up pretty easily too, and a big clothesline. They're both coming up off the mat pretty good, which for guys of this size is impressive. Here it comes. Look out. Oof. Oh my. Who is that? That's Big Slam. That's Big Slam Vader. Not Big Van Vader. Big Slam Vader. Walt McDonald, ladies and gentlemen. He also passed away last year. Wrestled as Big Slam on the independents for years and years. I didn't recollect this, so maybe I didn't watch this match the whole way through. But these two are going to try to double clotheslines. The camera's not really picking it up. I think Mable fought his way out of it. Bundy's gone. Slam's gone. Looks like Casati. Mable's got him. The Penguin Man's about to eat a fist. Oh my! Get out of there! Oh, he's swinging for the fence there on that one. So I guess we got a disqualification victory here for Mable. King Mable! How long we get out of that? 12, 13 minutes? That's about right. Oh, the cage has been erected, fans. The steel cage is up. 2
next week.
Big cage matches, and they're going to come at you next week. I'm Shane Shadows with Classic Indies. That